Hello and welcome, my dear friend. There are moments in life where the way you've been seen no longer matches who you've become, and heaven has been watching this unfold in you for longer than you realize. When angels look at you, they don't see a survivor. They don't see someone barely holding it together. They see a legend, and legends aren't created in easy places. They are forged where most people would have walked away. Think about it. Some people stop at the first wall. Others retreat when doors close. But you kept moving. You learned how to carve doors into walls. You found another way through. And in heaven's record, every time you kept moving when the weight said stop, it was noted. That's why heaven responds to you the way it does. You may not see it, but your story reads differently there. When they consider you, they see not just what you've endured, but how you endured. They see the choices you made when no one else was applauding. They see how you refused to betray your own soul, even when it would have been easier to compromise. And here's what I want you to feel right now. Your life has already shifted into territory that carries weight beyond you. You notice it in your own body, in the way your energy feels steadier, in how your words linger longer when you speak, in how opportunities begin to circle closer without you forcing them. Legends don't need to announce themselves. The evidence of their journey speaks before they open their mouths. You've entered that stage. Picture a marathon runner crossing the finish line, lungs burning, legs barely holding, but they cross. Nobody needs to be told they've done something extraordinary. The crowd can feel it. That's what your spirit has done. You crossed lines you didn't even know you had the strength to reach, and heaven stood still to mark it. That's why the word legend fits. Because this isn't about popularity, this isn't about numbers or crowds. This is about significance. A legend is someone whose life leaves a mark that cannot be erased. That's what you've become. Even if no one says it out loud, your shift is obvious. Some catch a spark from it. Others lose their balance because of it. But no one walks away untouched. And don't mistake this for arrogance. Legends aren't arrogant. They're consistent. They are the ones who keep showing up long after others gave up. That's why, in heaven's sight, the response to your life is awe. Because they see a story that didn't break under pressure. They see someone who refused to fold, even when no one was there to watch. Your very existence is a reminder that ordinary beginnings can lead to extraordinary legacies. And angels understand something most people don't. The smallest faithful choice travels farther than you think. That's why your quiet yes mattered. That's why your whispered prayers carried weight. That's why your steady endurance has rewritten the atmosphere around you. When you hear the word legend, you may think of statues or history books. But in heaven's language, a legend is a soul that lived true, against odds, against pressure, against fear, and still became who they were created to be. That's you. And if you've wondered why your life felt heavier than most, this is the reason. Legends don't carry light loads. Their weight is greater because their impact will stretch further. So today, I want you to stop measuring yourself by the wrong scale. Stop asking why your road looked harder. Stop asking why your path took longer. Legends aren't measured by speed or ease. They are measured by endurance, and you've already proven yours. When heaven looks at your life, they don't see random struggle or wasted years. They see strategy. They see the work you finished when no one was keeping score. They see a timeline heaven itself has been arranging, and your life is the evidence. That's why the weight on your shoulders has felt different. It wasn't just hardship, it was heritage. You've been carrying the seeds of something larger than your own lifetime, and every time you chose to keep walking, those seeds sank deeper into the soil, preparing for the day they would break through. And here's what makes you legendary. It wasn't your loudest victories that marked you. It was the quiet ones. The night you decided to get up again instead of staying down. The conversation you didn't have because you knew silence would protect your peace. The risk you took when fear begged you to stay still. Legends are made in moments like that. Think about music. A single note on its own doesn't seem like much, but when placed in sequence, it creates melody, and melody lingers. Your life has been stringing together notes that seemed ordinary in the moment, but heaven hears the song, and to them, it sounds like history in the making. You may notice it when you're still. The atmosphere doesn't feel the same as it once did, and even if you haven't noticed, it doesn't mean it isn't happening. Others see it. They look at you and find a story worth remembering. That alone is enough to mark you as a legend. But don't misunderstand. Legends are not flawless. They're not superhuman. What makes them different is that they refuse to betray the truth of who they were created to be, and that's what heaven honors in you. Picture molten glass in the hands of an artist. At first, it's formless, almost fragile. Every rotation, every breath, every fire reshapes it. To most, it looks unstable, but in the hands of the master, it's becoming something strong and luminous. That's been your life. What felt like unbearable heat was shaping clarity and brilliance. And now, heaven sees what fire could not destroy, only refine into radiance. And here's the irony. You might still see cracks, you might still focus on what's missing, but heaven sees completion. Angels don't measure your life by its perfection, they measure it by its obedience. And obedience, even when it wavered, was still obedience. Think of it like a torch. You didn't just hold it for yourself, you carried light that will be passed on. Others will see further because you lit the path. Others will walk straighter because you showed them it was possible. Legends don't exist for their own name. They exist so history itself bends differently after them. And your story has already started bending the timeline around you. That's why you felt misunderstood at times. Legends rarely fit neatly into the culture around them. You may have been called too much or too different, but that difference was your proof. While others blended in, you stood apart, not because you wanted to, but because you couldn't do anything else. Heaven was setting you apart so the weight you carried would remain intact. And remember this, like everything in life, being a legend has two sides. Every act of faith and kindness draws a smile from heaven. But history shows us something else too. Legends often walk long stretches of the road alone, until the right time comes and the right people recognize them and draw near. That moment isn't far off in the distance anymore. It's here. What's needed now is your active embodiment of what heaven already sees in you. My dear friend, this is the part where you need to believe it. Your life is not ordinary. You are not here by accident. You're not just another name in the crowd. You are one of the lives heaven pauses to watch because your endurance, your courage, your faith, it inspires them. Do you realize what that means? The very beings created to worship, to carry messages from heaven, are in awe of your story. That's the measure of what you've built. And now, something shifts. The season where this was hidden is over. What was private is becoming public. What was buried is sprouting. When you walk into rooms now, don't be surprised if the atmosphere feels like it tilts. Don't be surprised if people look at you differently. Don't be surprised if opportunities you didn't apply for find their way to your hands. That's not luck. That's the recognition of heaven surfacing in the earth. But hear this. With that weight comes responsibility. Not the kind that burdens, but the kind that honors. Legends don't waste their influence on petty battles. They don't lower themselves to every argument. They don't dilute themselves to make others comfortable. They know their story carries too much weight to be squandered. So guard your energy, protect your focus, honor what you carry. Because you're stepping into a time where your very choices will echo louder than before. And when heaven looks at you, they won't just see a legend, they'll see a legend still becoming, still expanding, still refusing to quit. Let me leave you with this. History isn't written only in books. It's written in the lives of those who dared to live true. And that's why your name already echoes in heaven. They don't just see what you've survived. They see what you've become. A legend in motion. A soul that kept walking. A life that proved love is stronger than fear. And my friend, if heaven already sees you this way, the earth will have no choice but to catch up. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me. If this message resonated, please like, share it with someone who might benefit, and subscribe to stay connected. Continue your awakening journey by choosing one of the videos on your screen that resonates with you the most. See you there. Hello and welcome, my dear friend. It's no accident you've landed here right now. Out of all the places you could be, out of all the voices you could be listening to, something greater has arranged this moment. You were meant to hear these words as part of the path you're already walking. And what you need to know in this very hour is this: God is in love with you. Not just watching over you, not just guiding from a distance, in love with you. That's why your circle narrowed. That's why you've been preserved in ways you didn't always understand. And before this message ends, you'll see why you are loved more deeply than you realize. Not tolerated, not pitied, not kept around because of obligation. No, loved. And that truth is the very reason some plans haven't gone the way you intended, why certain people drifted away, why your journey has felt so different. They were never meant to carry what heaven treasures this much. Love leaves fingerprints. When someone is in love, you feel it, in how they look at you, how they guard you, how they rearrange their steps for your good. That's exactly what's been happening in your life. The obstacles you walked out of untouched, that wasn't luck. The timing that made no sense but still protected you, that was evidence, fingerprints. Heaven making sure you made it here to hear this truth. And maybe part of you resists it. Maybe you've thought, if God loves me this much, why do I still feel overlooked? Why does it still feel so hard? But sometimes we search for love in the wrong places, expecting blessings to come from hands they were never meant to come from. Think about the signals your own body has given you, how your shoulders tense in certain rooms, how some conversations leave you replaying every word long after they're over, how people who once swore they'd always stay slowly grew quiet. For years, you wondered if that meant something was wrong with you. It didn't. It only revealed what most can't name. There's a different kind of weight on a life marked by God's love, and not everyone knows how to stand that close to it. Here's what no one tells you. Love like this exposes people. They don't understand why you're still standing when they expected you to fall. Some are baffled, some are envious, some are quietly unsettled. But none of that changes the truth. You are fiercely loved, and that love has been rearranging your life. So hear this clearly. Nothing about your struggle disqualifies you from love. Nothing about your mistakes canceled his affection. Love doesn't sit down with a checklist. Love chooses. Love pursues. And God has chosen you again and again. Have you noticed how your spirit refuses to stay in places that treat you like you're ordinary? That's because love won't let you shrink. Heaven won't let you starve in shallow waters. You've been called to the deep, where your soul can breathe. Every exit, every pause, even the sudden endings, none of them were random. They were signs you're being guided by a love too vast to let you waste yourself in the wrong places. And I know, you've longed for arms to hold you, words to affirm you, presence to remind you that you matter. We all do. So let this be that reminder. You matter to the one who designed the whole universe, who carved mountains, who set fire into the stars. That same God has been whispering your name with affection since before your first breath. This isn't love in theory, it's love in action. That's why you survived what should have destroyed you. That's why peace still finds you in moments when everything else looks impossible. That's why even now, as you listen, something in you feels both broken open and healed at the same time. Please hear me with your whole being. God is in love with you, not in a distant abstract way, in a way that shapes your days, redirects your steps, and keeps you from places that could never carry your light. So instead of asking why things aren't better than they are, pause and see the truth. Everything you've walked through has been exact, either an obvious blessing or a hard lesson, or even a dark place that revealed how strong you really are. There comes a point when you can't outrun this truth anymore. You've tried to explain away the protection over your life. You've told yourself it was chance, or timing, or maybe just stubbornness. But deep down, you've known it was love, God's love. And that's why your story has never looked like everyone else's. Love edits differently. Love slows you down in seasons where rushing would have ruined you. Love pulls you out of rooms that would have swallowed your voice. Love lets some people drift away because if they stayed, they would have convinced you to settle for half of what you carry. You've carried the ache of people leaving. You've sat with the silence of doors that wouldn't open, and you blamed yourself. You thought it meant you weren't enough, or that you did something wrong. But the truth is simpler. Some paths had to close so your life wouldn't get stuck in places too small for what you carry. Think about it. How many times did you believe you were losing everything, only to realize later you were being spared? How many times did you cry over a door that stayed shut, only to see months later that stepping through it would have broken you? That's what love does. It protects you, even from what you thought you wanted. And here's the thing about being loved this deeply. It changes how you move through the world. Crowds don't feel safe anymore because you pick up on everything. The heaviness people hide behind their smiles, the envy tucked inside their kindness, the loneliness they try to bury in noise. It's not that you're against society. It's that your spirit can't breathe in places where love is absent. Because God is in love with you, your senses have been sharpened. You notice what others ignore. You feel what others push aside. That sensitivity isn't weakness, it's evidence. His love has tuned you to recognize what's real. You've wondered why you can't hold on to certain friendships, why you feel restless in circles you used to enjoy. It's because you don't belong to the surface anymore. You belong to the deep. And love won't let you drown in shallow waters. The same love that has kept you apart is the love that will set you apart. The very thing that narrowed your path is what will make your influence wide. When the unveiling comes, and it will, people will wonder how you endured. And you'll know you were carried by a love they couldn't see. This is why some people are unsettled by you. They can't explain why your presence makes them nervous, why your silence feels louder than their noise. It's because God's love on you reveals things in them, and not everyone is ready for that mirror. Some will be drawn to it, some will resist it, but either way, it doesn't change the truth of who you are. And hear this, your mistakes didn't cancel this love. The nights you doubted didn't scare it off. The seasons where you drifted didn't make it disappear. Love doesn't keep a scorecard. Love doesn't wait until you're perfect to show up. Love shows up in the mess, in the questions, in the half-formed prayers, and God has been showing up for you all along. That's why you're still here. That's why the weight didn't crush you. That's why, even when you thought you were finished, something inside you kept breathing hope. That something wasn't just you. That was love refusing to let go. So stop asking if you're worthy of it. You are. Stop asking if you've done enough to deserve it. You haven't. And that's the point. Love isn't earned. Love is chosen. And you, chosen one, have been chosen for it. And when you finally start to accept it, everything shifts. You stop forcing yourself into rooms where your soul shrinks. You stop apologizing for needing quiet when others chase noise. You stop explaining why your circle is small, because you'll know. Intimacy with God was never meant to be measured by numbers. There will still be days you feel the ache of being set apart. But don't confuse that ache with abandonment. Heaven hasn't left you, it's preparing you. Every delay has been timing. Every hidden season has been training. Every lonely stretch has been proof that you're being protected for a moment that will matter more than you can imagine. So when that moment comes, you won't need to scramble for recognition. You won't need to beg for affirmation. You'll carry something heavier, stronger, truer, the steady knowledge that the God who created stars and oceans, galaxies and time itself has been in love with you the entire way. And when that truth finally settles in your bones, nothing will shake you again. So remember this, when people pull away, it's not always about you. It's about what surrounds you. When rooms feel heavy, it's not because you're weak. It's because your spirit is tuned to what others can't bear. When you feel hidden, it's not abandonment, it's preparation. God is in love with you, and that love will keep guiding your steps, setting your boundaries, and carrying you forward. until the moment comes when everyone else finally sees what heaven has known all along. Just trust it with your whole being. You are loved, fiercely, endlessly, without condition, and that will never change. And before we finish, I want to share something with you. As a musician, I've started a second channel, Simplified Serenity, with soaking worship instrumentals for prayer, stillness, and deep rest. If you felt peace here today, take it with you into your own quiet time with God. The link's in the description. I'd love to see you there. Hello and welcome, my dear friend. If you're here right now, it isn't random. Heaven made sure this message finds you, because tonight matters. You are standing at the doorway of something unseen, and God is closer than you realize. There is a reason sleep has always been sacred. When your body finally releases its grip on the day, when your mind can no longer spin its wheels, your spirit is still awake. That is where God steps in, not with noise, not with chaos, but in the stillness of night when you are most unguarded. You've felt it before. Nights when a dream clung to you so strongly you couldn't shake it. Times when you woke up with words in your heart you didn't fall asleep with. Moments when peace settled over you like a blanket, even if you went to bed in pieces. That wasn't coincidence, that was visitation. And I need you to hear this. What's coming tonight is not the same as before. There are seasons where God watches, seasons where He protects, and seasons where He whispers. But then there are appointed moments, rare moments, where heaven draws so close the boundary between the visible and invisible feels paper-thin. You are in one of those moments now. You've been asking for clarity. You've been aching for confirmation. You've been straining to hear through the noise of the world. And because God knows how heavy the days have been, He is choosing the night to deliver what you've been waiting for. Dreams are not just pictures in your mind. They are languages of the Spirit. They are maps, warnings, and reminders that the unseen is just as real as the seen. That is why the enemy attacks sleep so viciously, with nightmares, with restlessness, with racing thoughts, because he knows what God plants in the quiet can change the course of your life. Think about it. How many times have you tossed and turned, unable to rest, and called it stress? What if it was resistance? What if the reason you couldn't sleep was because heaven was trying to hand you something and darkness wanted to distract you before you could receive it? Yet something in the atmosphere shifts tonight. This night your rest is going to carry revelation. Some of you will dream things that confirm what your spirit has already been whispering. Some of you will feel presence in your room so undeniable you'll know you weren't alone. Some of you will wake up lighter, as if burdens dissolved in the night. This is how God works with those He loves. He doesn't wait for perfect conditions. He meets you where you are, in your exhaustion, in your questions, in your vulnerability. And sometimes the most tender act of love is when He steps into your rest, so you don't have to strive. And I know you've been weary, the kind of weary no nap can fix. You've carried questions you didn't know how to form into prayers. You've carried loneliness, even in crowded rooms. You've carried hope in one hand and doubt in the other, not knowing which would win. That's why tonight matters, because God doesn't just see your fight. He sees the part of you that's been longing for peace so deep, it reaches even your sleep. This is not about performance. This is not about perfection. This is about intimacy. God is not coming tonight to evaluate you. He is coming to embrace you, to speak to you in a way your busy mind couldn't block, to refill what the day drained. Have you noticed how your body has been more tired than usual? How your eyes feel heavy earlier, as if something is pulling you into rest? Pay attention. That tug is not laziness, it is preparation. Heaven is setting the stage for encounter, and when it happens, don't rush to explain it away. Don't convince yourself it was just a dream or just a feeling. The very fact you are here listening right now is proof that God is already aligning you to recognize what He's about to do. So as you step into the night, do so with expectation. Lay down knowing the same one who breathed stars into being is leaning close enough to breathe peace into you. This night isn't ordinary, it's appointed. And when you wake, something in you will know you weren't alone. You may not always realize it, but sleep is one of the holiest spaces you enter each day. When the world has quieted down and the masks fall away, when no one is asking you for anything and your body finally surrenders, your spirit stands uncovered before heaven. That's why what happens in the night matters so much. It's where God writes on the slate of your soul without distraction. Think back to the dreams that lingered, the ones that didn't fade with the morning light. Maybe it was an image you couldn't shake, a phrase that repeated itself in your chest, or a face you didn't expect to see again. Those weren't meaningless, they were seeds, and some of them are still growing in you right now, even if you can't yet see the fruit. You've wondered why your sleep has often been restless, why nightmares came when you were young, why you sometimes wake up with the feeling of having carried battles through the night. It's because your spirit is sensitive. The same way you pick up on people's energy in the day, your inner radar doesn't turn off when you close your eyes. You feel more, you see more, and sometimes you fight more. But here's the truth that changes everything. You're not fighting alone. God never leaves you vulnerable in the night. What feels like an attack is often permission for you to see what He's already shielding you from. And what feels like confusion is often a message wrapped in symbols, waiting for you to recognize its shape. Think about it. Some of the greatest moments in history happened in the night. Joseph's dreams carried him into his destiny. Daniel saw visions no one else could explain. Even the safety of Christ's birth was guarded by a dream that came at just the right time. My dear friend, heaven has always loved to speak in the stillness of sleep, and that hasn't changed. The reason tonight matters so much is because your spirit has been craving clarity. You've been asking questions that no voice around you could answer, and God, in His love, is about to bypass the noise and meet you in the stillness. He knows your heart will listen differently when your body is at rest. You may not remember every detail in the morning. Sometimes the dream itself isn't what matters most. It's the residue it leaves behind, waking with unusual peace, waking with sudden clarity about a decision, waking lighter than you went to bed. These are all signs that God visited you, whether your memory holds the picture or not. And let me reassure you of this. Not every dream is meant to be solved like a puzzle. Some are not instructions but encounters. Some are not warnings but embraces. Some are simply heaven reminding you that you are not as alone as you feared. My friend, I know there have been nights where you lay awake staring at the ceiling, wondering if God still sees you, wondering if your prayers reached anywhere beyond your room. But what you may not have noticed is that in those very nights, something unseen was happening. Your tears were being counted. Your heart was being held. And though silence seemed to fill the space, heaven was already moving closer. That is why tonight carries weight, because God has chosen your rest as the setting for reassurance. Not when you're trying to be strong, not when you're performing faith for anyone else, but when you are finally still, finally honest, finally open. That's when He comes. And if you've ever felt that sudden warmth at 3 a.m., if you've ever woken from a dream that felt more real than daylight, if you've ever stirred in your bed and felt peace descend like a hand on your shoulder, you know what I'm talking about. You've already tasted what's possible. Tonight, that possibility becomes an invitation. Don't be surprised if your dreams peel back layers you've been avoiding. Don't be surprised if you're reminded of people, places, or seasons you thought you forgot. Sometimes God revisits the past in your sleep, not to reopen wounds, but to show you how healed you've become. Sometimes He brings the faces of those who hurt you, so that you can see you're no longer tied to their grip. Sometimes He pulls old hopes back into view, so you'll remember they're not dead, just waiting. And here's what I need you to know. Nothing about your doubts, your questions, or even the heaviness of your day can keep God from drawing near. He isn't waiting for you to be perfect before He shows up. When He comes, It's because He loves you, because He knows you need rest that goes deeper than your body, rest that reaches your spirit. So when you lay down tonight, lay down differently. Instead of collapsing into sleep, enter it like a sanctuary. Whisper gratitude, even if it's small. Release the weight of the day. Tell your spirit it is safe to listen. And then trust that what happens next isn't random, it's orchestrated. And tomorrow, when you wake, pay attention. Notice how your body feels, how your heart feels, how your mind feels. Maybe you'll wake lighter. Maybe you'll wake with an idea. Maybe you'll wake with words that weren't in you yesterday. Whatever it is, trust it. Trust that it's not just sleep, not just coincidence, but heaven making itself known. Because the same God who speaks through fire and thunder, who paints the skies with galaxies, also speaks in the quiet of your dreams. He is not limited to pulpits or preachers or pages of books. He has always loved meeting His children in the stillest places. So, as you step into the night, let your heart rest. You don't need to strive to earn this. You don't need to force anything to happen. Simply allow yourself to be loved, to be visited, to be held. And when you rise, know this with certainty. You are not alone. Heaven was closer than your very breath. When a word like this lands, your spirit wants to stay in the presence of it. That's why I made Simplified Serenity, a channel with music I've created for prayer, meditation, and deep rest. The link's in the description. I'd love to see you there. Hello and welcome, my dear friend. There are feelings that defy logic, feelings that don't sit neatly in language, yet they shape your entire life. One of those feelings is that strange, unexplainable homesickness you've carried for as long as you can remember. Not for a city, not for a country, but for somewhere else. A place you've never been, but somehow your soul insists you belong to. You can be surrounded by people, living in the middle of noise and routine, and yet there's a silence inside of you that whispers, "This isn't it, this isn't home," and you wonder, what does that mean? Why do I feel out of place, even when I've done everything right? This is not confusion, it's recognition. Your spirit remembers something your body has not yet walked into, a kingdom not made of brick and stone, but of light and eternal truth. You've been tuned to a different frequency since the day you were born, and because of that, Earth never feels like enough. Think about it. A fish will never feel at peace lying on the shore. A bird will never feel right if its wings are tied. You too were made for an environment that matches your design. And when the world doesn't match it, you feel it as homesickness, as a longing, as an ache for the unseen. That ache isn't weakness. It isn't depression. It's evidence, proof that you come from somewhere higher, somewhere holy, and it's the reason you never quite fit into the systems and games of this world. My dear friend, your homesickness is a compass. It keeps you from getting too comfortable in places you were never meant to stay. It reminds you that your calling is bigger than settling for survival. Think of how many times you tried to blend in, only to feel emptier after. You took the job, you played the role, you wore the mask, but instead of peace, you felt like you were drifting further from yourself. That's because your soul refuses to forget where it came from. Even when your mind tells you, this is good enough, just stay here, your spirit rises and says, no, there is more. There is something beyond this. And here's the truth. Not everyone feels this. Many people are perfectly content with what they see, touch, and build here, but not you. Because you weren't designed to only live here. You were designed to bring heaven into here. When you feel that ache, that homesickness, it isn't God rejecting you, it's God preparing you. He stirs that longing so you don't get lost in false comfort. That ache is the reason you keep seeking, keep praying, keep pressing forward when others stop. And let me tell you something important. That feeling isn't going away, not because you're broken, but because it's part of your assignment. That unshakable sense that you're not from here will guide you through every season, reminding you not to waste yourself on what doesn't matter. Your longing is sacred. It's the divine pull reminding you that you came with a mission, that you are carrying something eternal inside a temporary frame, that no matter how hard the world tries to convince you that this is all there is, you already know better. And here's the secret. When you finally stop resisting that feeling, when you embrace it, everything changes. Suddenly you stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" and you start realizing, "This is proof of who I am." Yes, you are different. Yes, you feel like a stranger. Yes, you feel like no place is quite enough. That's because you are carrying the memory of a place that is not yet here, a place that is coming, a place you are helping to build with your very existence. So when you feel that tug in your chest, that ache you can't explain, don't drown it out with distractions. Don't medicate it with shallow substitutes. Sit with it, listen to it, because it's telling you the truth. You're not from here. And that truth is not meant to make you feel lost. It's meant to remind you that you are found. You've spent years trying to explain this feeling, haven't you? To friends, to family, sometimes even to yourself. But how do you tell someone, "I feel homesick, but I don't know for where," without them looking at you like you're lost? Maybe that's why you've carried it in silence. You smile when people tell you, "Just be grateful. Look at all you have." And you are grateful. You don't take blessings lightly. But gratitude doesn't erase longing. Gratitude doesn't silence the pull in your chest that whispers, "This is not it." The truth is, your soul is loyal. Loyal to where it came from. Loyal to what it remembers. That loyalty won't let you get stuck in what's beneath you. It won't let you settle in what was never meant to be your final destination. And you, my friend, know this ache too well. Think about all the times you tried to force yourself to belong. You stepped into rooms and thought, "Maybe this is it." But then, halfway through, you realized the conversations felt hollow. The laughter sounded like echoes. The connections lacked weight. It wasn't that those people were bad. It was simply that they were tuned to this world, and you were tuned to another. That's why gossip drains you. That's why shallow ambition feels pointless to you. That's why, even in moments of achievement, you've thought, "There has to be more than this." And you were right. That homesickness is heaven reminding you that your standard doesn't come from culture. It comes from eternity. My dear friend, have you noticed how your body itself testifies to this? There are days your chest feels heavy, like carrying a weight no one else sees. There are nights you wake up restless, unable to explain why. There are moments where music, prayer, or silence makes you cry out of nowhere, not from sadness, but from recognition. Your spirit is remembering. Even your dreams betray it. You've seen landscapes that don't exist here, colors our eyes shouldn't be able to perceive. You've felt love so pure, so complete, that waking up almost hurts. Those are not accidents. They are glimpses, reminders that this isn't all there is. And here's what I need you to hear, that longing is not cruelty, it's preparation. God allows you to feel out of place here, so you don't fall asleep here. That ache keeps your spirit awake while the world gets comfortable. It keeps you alert while others get distracted. It keeps you moving toward what you were born for, even when you don't know what's next. You've probably noticed, this homesickness makes you different. People may misread it as moodiness, distance, or pride. They don't see that you're not uninterested, you're searching. They don't realize your silence isn't arrogance, it's the sound of someone listening for a voice beyond this earth. And while others chase validation here, you're wired for something higher. That's why applause feels empty to you, why titles don't satisfy you, why even love from others, as beautiful as it is, doesn't fill the deepest space in you. Only God can, because only He comes from where you come from. And you've always known it, even if you never said it out loud. So let me tell you the good news. You are not alone in this ache. Every prophet, every mystic, every chosen soul across history has felt it. Abraham left his home, searching for a land promised but unseen. Moses longed for the presence of God more than the treasures of Egypt. Even Jesus said, "I am not of this world." If the Son of God himself admitted that he didn't belong fully to this earth, then why are you surprised that you feel the same? Your homesickness places you in holy company. And here's the shift. The day will come when that ache turns into alignment. When what you've carried inside finally meets what God is building outside. When your feet stand on the ground, your soul has been remembering all along. Until then, don't despise the longing. Don't curse the restlessness. Let it be your reminder that you are more than flesh, more than circumstance, more than this temporary world. Every tear you've cried from not fitting in, heaven has counted them. Every night you've whispered, God, why do I feel like I don't belong? He has answered with presence, even if you couldn't hear it. And one day, this ache will make sense. The homesickness will lift. You will stand in a place, whether in this life or the next, and you'll say, this is it. This is what I've been waiting for. But until then, live with holy urgency. Live like someone carrying a passport stamped with eternity. Live like someone who knows this is not their final address. When people misunderstand you, smile. When the world tries to distract you, stay steady. When the ache grows heavy, remember, it's not punishment, it's proof. Proof that you're chosen. Proof that you're carrying heaven in your very bones. Proof that you're not from here. So the next time you feel that longing, don't call it weakness. Call it what it is, a message, a reminder, a prophecy written into your spirit. You are not from here, and that is exactly why you are here, to bring a piece of there into this world, to remind others that they too are more than dust, to carry the sound, the fragrance, the truth of eternity in every step you take. Dear chosen one, your homesickness is holy. Embrace it. Carry it with honor. Because one day soon, the place your soul remembers will meet the path your feet walk. And when it does, you'll realize it was worth every ache, every tear, every restless night. Until then, stand tall, live boldly, keep searching, and never forget, you're not from here. And that's the most powerful truth about you. And before we finish, I want to share something with you. As a musician, I've started a second channel, Simplified Serenity, with soaking worship instrumentals for prayer, stillness, and deep rest. If you felt peace here today, take it with you into your own quiet time with God. The link's in the description. I'd love to see you there. Hello and welcome, my dear friend. There are times when you can almost feel the atmosphere bending around your life. The air becomes heavy with something you can't name. Not fear, not confusion, but anticipation. As though heaven itself is holding its breath, waiting for the right second to release what it has been building for years. That is where you stand right now. My friend, what's about to happen through you has no reference point. It's not a repeat. It's not a copy. You've made God move in a way He has never moved before. That may sound overwhelming, but think about it this way. Every invention that changed the world once seemed impossible. Before electricity, the idea of light at the press of a switch was absurd. Before flight, humans in the sky sounded like madness. Yet the impossible became inevitable once someone pushed far enough. That's your life. You've been pushing into places that felt unreasonable, showing up when it didn't make sense, refusing to collapse when every weight said you should. And because of that, heaven is revealing something through you that no one has seen in this way before. Picture an artist with a canvas. For years, the brush strokes look random, messy, unfinished. People glance at it and shrug. There's nothing there. But then, one final stroke of color changes everything. The entire image comes alive. Suddenly, everyone calls it a masterpiece, even though the strokes had been there all along. That's your story. Years of confusion, silence, rejection, and now one move reveals what was hidden in plain sight. And here's the part people won't understand. What looks sudden to them has been forming in secret for a very long time. Your persistence was the preparation. Your decision to keep going when the outcome wasn't visible was the brushstroke heaven needed. That's why you've survived what others could not. Not because you're lucky, but because your life has been marked to carry a demonstration. And this demonstration won't be subtle. When it arrives, those who dismissed you will be stunned. Those who underestimated you will be forced to confront what they overlooked. Even you will look back at moments when you thought you were finished and realize those were the very reasons heaven chose to move differently through you. My friend, your life is not just a testimony, it's about to become a signal. A signal that God doesn't recycle stories. He authors originals. That's why unusual things happen around you. Why you've never quite fit where others seemed comfortable. Why certain opportunities passed you by. Not because you weren't ready, but because they were too small for what was being written. You weren't designed to follow someone else's map. You were designed to pioneer a path that didn't exist until you walked it. Let me give you another picture. Imagine a musician performing a familiar song. The rhythm flows, the melody is expected, the audience nods along. Then suddenly, the musician strikes a note no one has ever heard before. The room freezes. Everyone leans in, unable to explain what they just experienced. That's what your life is about to sound like. You are the note that shifts the atmosphere, the proof that heaven is not finished creating. And when this new sound plays through your story, it will ripple. It won't just impact you, it will awaken people connected to you. It will stir others who thought their lives were ordinary. It will ignite those who doubted their own strength. Because when heaven reveals something brand new, it inspires everyone watching. But don't expect everyone to celebrate. Some will feel unsettled, even threatened. New always disrupts old. Light always unsettles darkness. That's not your concern. Their discomfort is not your assignment. Your role is simply to stand as evidence. And you will. Because the truth is, what you've walked through has made you untouchable in ways people can't explain. Pain became your training ground. Silence became your shield. Every season that felt wasted was secretly the foundation for what's about to erupt. You are the canvas, the note, the ground that trembles before the reveal. What's coming is not ordinary. It's not recycled. It's not second-hand. It's unprecedented. And you are the reason heaven can finally say, "I've never done this before." My dear friend, if you've ever wondered why your life hasn't followed the usual script, here is the answer. You were never meant to. That's why paths that looked straight for others felt like dead ends to you. You were being kept for something never seen before. Ordinary lives can follow ordinary maps, but you were handed a compass instead. A tool that doesn't show a pre-written path, but pulls toward true north. That's why your steps have felt uncertain, even lonely at times. You weren't lost. You were pioneering. You were laying down stones where no road existed, and though you didn't realize it, you were leaving a trail behind you for others to follow. Think of all the moments you whispered, "I should be further by now." You compared your timing to theirs, your progress to theirs, your achievements to theirs. You thought you were behind, but you weren't. You were building something larger. They raised walls quickly, but yours required deeper foundations. Their structures looked impressive, but won't last the storms. Yours has taken longer, but when it stands, it will be immovable. The longer it takes to forge, the more unbreakable it becomes. That's why your storms didn't uproot you. That's why silence didn't erase you. That's why rejection didn't crush you. Every season stretched you into a strength you didn't know you had, and now heaven is ready to reveal it. Your story is about to be studied. People will look at you and ask, how did they survive that? How did they keep showing up when the weight should have destroyed them? How did they emerge stronger when everything was designed to break them? And the answer will be simple. Heaven moved differently for you. Let me give you a picture. Imagine a city where every clock ticks in rhythm, each second predictable. Then suddenly, one clock leaps forward, outpacing them all. People stop and stare, not because time has changed, but because that one clock revealed a rhythm no one expected. That's your life. You are the moment that breaks predictability. You are the announcement that God has chosen to move in a way never done before. And when that announcement comes, it won't stay small. It will ripple outward. It will stir people who have been asleep in their own routines. It will awaken those who believed nothing new could happen for them. Because when heaven breaks a pattern once, it inspires faith that it can break again. Maybe you're asking, but when? When does this finally arrive? And here's the truth. You've already stepped into it. That restlessness you feel, the quiet pressure in your chest, it's not anxiety. It's not confusion. It's the tremor before the quake. Before an earthquake, the ground shakes, not to harm, but to announce something massive is moving beneath the surface. That's what's happening with you. These are the tremors. The reveal is next. And when it arrives, you'll look back at every night you cried, every morning you doubted, every moment you thought you had reached the end. You'll realize none of it was wasted. Every tear, every pause, every detour was the fuel that called heaven closer. So lift your head, straighten your shoulders. This isn't just another chapter. It's the one history we'll remember you by. This is the moment where heaven itself says, I've never done this before. And when it unfolds, you won't need to announce it. Your life will announce it for you. Those who ignored you will have to watch. Those who doubted you will have to admit. Those who left will have to wonder what changed. Because when God moves like this, no one can deny it. My dear friend, what you're stepping into is not just blessing, it's disruption, it's invention, it's history, and it's you. Your faithfulness, your resilience, your refusal to collapse that created it. So walk into it boldly, not timid, not apologizing, not questioning if you deserve it. Walk into it knowing this. You didn't just wait for this moment, you birthed it. And that is why what happens next will not simply be celebrated, it will be remembered. This message closes here, but the atmosphere continues. If you're ready to stay in this flow, my second channel, Simplified Serenity, is waiting. A sanctuary of sound made just for your spirit. Just tap the playlist on your screen. I'd love to see you there. Hello and welcome, my dear friend. God led you here exactly when you needed to hear this. Pause for a moment and feel this. Every time you look in the mirror and allow yourself to exist fully, exactly as you are performing an act of worship. Not a worship of perfection, not a worship of achievement, but a worship of the one who made you, uniquely, perfectly, wondrously. You are a living masterpiece, a composition of divine thought, a proof of God's creativity. And when you love yourself as you are, you honor that creation. You validate the majesty of your Maker. Think of it like a painter stepping back from a canvas. The colors, the brushstrokes, the tiniest imperfections, they all matter. If the painter's work is ignored, the masterpiece goes uncelebrated. But when someone stands before it, appreciates it, notices its details, the painting comes alive. You are that masterpiece. Your self-love is the gaze that brings God's handiwork into full recognition. Too often, we feel the need to earn approval from others, from society, from our family, even from ourselves. Yet, here's the divine truth. You've already earned it. Every scar, every triumph, every quiet act of courage is proof that God's craftsmanship is alive within you. Loving yourself doesn't inflate ego. It reflects back the care, wisdom, and beauty God embedded in you from the very beginning. Imagine a garden. Each flower blooms according to its own time, its own design. You wouldn't shame a rose for not growing like a sunflower, or a tulip for not blossoming in winter. Each bloom is already a miracle. Your existence is the same. To truly love yourself is to say, God, your design is perfect. I see it, I honor it, I celebrate it. It's an act of worship, quiet but powerful, reverent yet unshakably joyful. And yet, loving yourself in this way is not always easy. Doubt creeps in, that whisper that says, are you really enough? and it masks the truth. But doubt is only a shadow. Shadows only exist because there is light. And the light, my dear friend, is the divine love poured into your being. That love is present whether you acknowledge it or not. And when you choose to love yourself, you are reflecting that light back to God, affirming the truth that His creation, you, is magnificent. Consider this: God does not need your validation, but the act of recognizing your worth, of embracing your soul, of honoring the divine spark within you, that is a language that reaches God's heart. It's a mirror of worship. It's the quiet, radical acknowledgement that His work matters, that His artistry is visible, that His design is worthy of celebration. And here's the beauty of it: when you truly love yourself, the world begins to recognize it too. Your confidence isn't vanity, it's authenticity. Your joy isn't arrogance, it's resonance with the divine. Every act of self-love sends a ripple through creation. You become a living testimony that God's creativity cannot be contained, that His vision is perfect, that His work in you is not accidental, not incomplete, but whole. Others are inspired when they see you recognize your own light. By simply existing in that truth, you encourage them to embrace the light within themselves. So, if you've been holding back, doubting yourself, comparing yourself, or trying to fit into a frame that was never meant for you, pause, breathe. Let this truth sink deep. To love yourself as you are is to worship God in the most personal, profound way imaginable. Every time you honor your being, you honor Him. Every time you embrace your journey, you embrace His design. Every time you celebrate your strengths and forgive your flaws, you are validating the majesty of the Creator. This is not selfishness. This is sacredness. This is divine alignment. You are not just becoming more of yourself, you are becoming a conduit of God's beauty, a living testament that His creation, in all its wonder, complexity, and uniqueness, is worth celebrating. My dear friend, when you begin to love yourself as God intended, something shifts not only in your heart, but in the spiritual atmosphere around you. The way you carry yourself changes. The way you walk into a room changes. Even your silence begins to speak, because it carries the authority of someone who knows they are fearfully and wonderfully made. The enemy of your soul has always tried to distort this truth. That's why comparison, shame, and insecurity are some of the most common weapons used against you. Because if you forget your worth, you forget God's signature in your life. And when you forget His signature, you begin to chase after the approval of hands that never created you. But listen closely. The crown God placed on you was never meant to be handed out for votes. You do not need confirmation slips from broken people to validate what was already signed by the Creator Himself. Think of it like a musician playing a piece of music composed by the greatest maestro. Even if the crowd doesn't applaud, the song still carries the brilliance of its composer. You are that song. Your worth doesn't rise and fall with the clapping of others. It rests in the unshakable truth of who composed you. And here's where it becomes sacred. When you begin to honor yourself, you unconsciously give others permission to do the same. Your very existence becomes a sermon without words. A friend who has forgotten their beauty suddenly remembers it when they see how you carry yours. A soul who feels like a mistake begins to wonder if maybe, just maybe, they were designed on purpose too. This is why self-love is not just about you. It is about the ripples that reach beyond your life. It is about participating in God's redemptive work by living as an example of His creativity at its fullest. You don't inspire others by denying who you are. You inspire them by embracing it fully, unapologetically, tenderly. Picture a lantern lit in the middle of a dark field. The lantern doesn't force itself on anyone. It doesn't beg people to come closer. It simply shines, and in its shining, weary travelers find direction. That's you when you choose to embrace yourself as God's creation. You become a guiding light without trying, simply by being. But here's the challenge. The world will sometimes misinterpret your light. People who have not learned to love themselves may see your confidence as arrogance. They may even resent the joy you've cultivated. But their perception does not alter your truth. The sun doesn't dim itself because someone complains about the brightness. It rises anyway, and so must you. Now think of the times you've dismissed your own reflection, the times you've called yourself not enough, the times you've questioned your value. What if every one of those moments was like standing before a stained glass window and only focusing on a crack in the corner? The beauty was never gone. The light still poured through. The crack didn't erase the design. It added to the story of resilience. That's what your so-called flaws are. Not disqualifications, but evidence of a life that has endured, survived, and still reflects God's glory. Your scars are not shameful. They are sacred signatures of endurance. Heaven sees them as proof of what you've walked through, and angels marvel at the light that still radiates through them. You cannot love God fully while despising what He has carried you through. To love yourself is to say, Lord, I thank you for making even my scars meaningful. And as this truth sinks deeper, you realize something profound. Self-love turns into fuel for divine purpose. When you stop battling yourself, you free up energy to fight for the dreams God placed in you. When you stop doubting your reflection, you have more strength to step into your calling. Loving yourself is not the end. It is the beginning of walking in your destiny with boldness. Because God did not create you to live life half asleep. He did not breathe His Spirit into you just for you to survive. He intended for you to flourish, to create, to love, to heal, to impact lives, and all of that begins with seeing yourself the way He sees you. So hear me. There is no distance left to travel before you become worthy. You are worthy in this moment. There is no permission slip you need to receive before you can embrace yourself. God already handed you the permission when He spoke you into existence. And the moment you live from that truth, everything changes. Fear loosens its grip. Shame loses its voice. Doubt becomes background noise instead of the narrator of your story. Because the God who called galaxies into being also called you, and His voice is final. My dear friend, the love you extend to yourself today is not wasted. It is not small. It is not indulgent. It is an echo of heaven itself. It is a living hallelujah, a declaration that the Creator's work was good, that His masterpiece is still unfolding, that His glory is reflected in every breath you take. So stand tall, not in arrogance, but in reverence, not because you are flawless, but because you are faithfully made. Lift your head, not to prove a point, but to show the world what it looks like when someone dares to love themselves as an act of loving God. Because that's what you are doing every time you look at yourself with compassion. Every time you choose to forgive your reflection instead of condemning it. Every time you say yes to life instead of hiding in shame, you are worshiping, you are participating in heaven's symphony. And perhaps the most powerful truth of all is this: one day you will stand face to face with the author of your being. And in that moment, I believe He will look at you with love and say, "Thank you for honoring what I created. Thank you for loving yourself enough to reflect my glory back to me." That, my friend, is the highest act of worship. When a word like this lands, your spirit wants to stay in the presence of it. That's why I made Simplified Serenity, a channel with music I've created for prayer, meditation, and deep rest. The link's in the description. I'd love to see you there.